today I'm going to be fulfilling a few requests. I decided to kind of combine a few things that people had asked me to do. So one of those, of course, is whispering. A lot of people have asked me to go ahead and do another whisper video, so I try to throw those in every once in a while because I know that a lot of my viewers prefer that. I know that a lot of you prefer soft-spoken, but I do think I do a lot more soft-spoken than whisper, so I wanted to throw in a whisper video. I'm going to be chewing this Trident bubblegum flavor, and then I also had somebody ask me to do a video with like no popping or snapping of my gum. I know that a lot of you like that, but I'm going to do this video. I'm going to try to do it with no popping and no snapping. Just chewing. And then somebody recently asked me to show some things that I had gotten on my different travels. So I happen to have a bag of coffee mugs that I've collected over the years because we're trying to get rid of a lot of stuff to make room for having 2 more babies in the house. So unfortunately, I'm gonna have to give a lot of my coffee mugs away because for so many years that was like the main thing I collected. I think I've shared that before, but we need cabinet space, and so like I'm getting ready to have a bunch of bottles and like my pump and everything that I need a place for, and so we were like, this is where we need to start because we have way too many coffee mugs that we don't need. So anyway, I'm gonna show you guys some of these. Most of them are from places I've traveled, so I'll probably just show those, and then I will try to think of some other things that I have. I definitely have some wall decor that I can show, and I can try to do that in another video. So like right now, we've always tried to have a travel wall in our house with things we've collected over the years from places we've both gone, separate and together, but we've also tried to minimize kind of how busy and cluttered our walls are. So a lot of those we just have saved, and then quite a few of them we're about to take down, unfortunately, because they're in the room that will be the twins' nursery. And so anyway, it makes me sad because I don't have like this big travel wall anymore of like all the places I've gone, but I have the stuff, so maybe someday I can put it back up somewhere. Anyway, so I'm gonna go ahead and show some of these mugs that I have. This is from Strasbourg in France, and it's a really cute little town, but my husband and I took my 2 nieces there because kind of following that Cornwall story that I told in my last video. Long story short, my sister and brother-in-law paid for one of our flights to get to Europe, and in exchange we kept their kids for a week while they went on a Mediterranean cruise. And so we didn't want to go on an overnight trip with the girls, but we did take a day trip into France. And let me fix this really quickly so I can make sure nobody disturbs me. Sorry for my phone on Do Not Disturb. But, and, so anyway, we took them to France for the day. And we ate at this little place, but it was so hard to find parking. And like on all those cobblestone streets, it is so packed, and like you don't. I think at one point we were going down a street that wasn't actually a street, it was just a pedestrian path, and it was so stressful. We were both so stressed because we didn't live over there, and I just remember like there was nowhere to park. So my husband ended up dropping me off with the two young kids at this restaurant, and he went to go find a parking garage, and he didn't come for like an hour. He got lost, and we had already eaten and finished before he even got there. It was just so crazy, and it was such a hot day, and of course there's no air conditioning like even in the restaurants and stuff, so we were just like blazing. But I have my coffee mug, and it's a fun memory now. It was just crazy at the time. Okay, this is from Africa. My husband and I have both been to Africa, not together, but at different times we have gone. I think I've definitely, I've told stories and stuff about being in Africa, and it was actually really crazy that there's this elephant on here because I didn't see any elephants when I was in Africa, and we were kind of in this little village, kind of out in the middle of nowhere, but the missionaries we were staying with told us that the week after we left, a wild elephant like rampaged that village, and I think somebody died, but it destroyed a ton of places, and we were like, that is so crazy because that had never happened before where they lived, at least while they had lived there. But lots of fun memories from Africa, and my husband also has lots of really fun memories from there. Okay. Hopefully this is not too loud. I have these in a Trader Joe's bag. Okay. This is not from abroad, but this is from the Coca-Cola Museum in Atlanta, Georgia. I have driven through Atlanta a lot, just going on trips, but I've only actually like done Atlanta once when my friend lived nearby, and I went to the Coca-Cola Museum while I was there. My husband has also been here probably more than me to Atlanta, but we both love the Coca-Cola Museum. I would really love to go back. It was just so cool and fun, and like they have those videos at the beginning of the tour before you start going through the museum, and like Coca-Cola, their marketing is so good, and I think I cried in the video they showed. It was so dumb, but it was like so sweet. Anyway, the funnest part, of course, is when you get to the end and you get to try the different Coke products from all over the world, and it's just like tons of stations of like fountain drinks, and you just go, and it's so interesting to taste how different it tastes in every country, like just based on, I guess, that culture's preferences and like what they like. Some of it tasted really horrible to me, but it was really neat to just like go taste all the different Coke products. And also there are lots of things that I did not realize were Coke products that are lots of different drinks. So anyway, that's from the Coca-Cola Museum. I'm gonna put in another piece of gum. I've got to find some places to put all these. Okay. I've talked about this one before, actually, because this really would function better as like a soup bowl because it's so huge. Because what I realized when I used this as a coffee cup, because of how big it is, it my coffee got cold so fast because it doesn't, like, it just, I don't know. So I didn't use this as a coffee mug very often. And it takes up a lot of space. So I'm not a hoarder at all. I constantly am trying to purge things, but it is hard for me to get rid of stuff that I got like traveling because it's just sentimental to me and it brings back memories. But I can't become that person because then I will never get rid of anything. Let's see. I should have showed this in my video. Last week because it was from Cornwall, where we went. It was 250 pounds. And I don't know if anybody has ever watched Poldark. It's a British series. It's also a book series. And I've read several of the books, but I also watched most of the show. I don't think I completely finished it. But a lot of these places were, Truro was in Poldark. Just different places on here that they talked about. And then some of them, of course, we visited. But it's just different names of different places in Cornwall. Such a fun trip. You guys already know. If you watched my video last week. Switzerland. I have been to Switzerland twice. And I talked about that in one of my videos, one of my story times, for how we got to Switzerland because we got stranded in Milan, Italy. I'll put some of these story times below in case you want to check them out. But Switzerland was so beautiful. So the first time I went there, it was the fall, and so it was cool outside, but we could still, like, you could see everything, you could hike everywhere, like. And then a couple years later, we went to Switzerland over the Christmas holiday, and with my family, not when I was studying abroad, but with my family. And when we got, I took them to the same town that I had visited when I was studying abroad. And the snow was so thick, and you could hardly see in front of you because of how hard it was snowing. And then there was this beautiful waterfall in that little village, and I was so excited to show them. But when we walked down there, it was frozen solid. And I was like, oh. So it was a completely different experience that second time, but it was beautiful because it was so snowy. And for it to be over the winter holiday was really fun. But it was freezing. So you couldn't really do a ton of hiking. If you're just average people, like, it was too cold and too snowy and icy. But I love Switzerland. It was so beautiful. Let's see. Okay. This is just like Germany, Deutschland. Coffee mug. We just got like a generic. I don't remember where in Germany we got this, but if I had to guess, it was probably on the trip we took, on one of the trips I took to visit my sister while she lived there. But I also visited Germany a few times when I was studying abroad. And that was really fun. I really like Germany. Yeah, I don't remember where exactly we got this, but it was just to add to our collection because we had, I don't think, like at the time that I was studying abroad, I didn't get heavy souvenirs like this because it was just too much to carry around because all you had was your backpack. So what I did when I was studying abroad was I would just get a sticker in every country that I went to, and I would put it on my water bottle, the big water bottle that I carried with me, just to like have the memory of like a country that I went to. Because I did not have the space or the endurance to like carry this stuff around. So really probably most of the mugs and stuff that we have came later. Okay, yeah, this is from Luxembourg, which I think I talked about in a video. I know I went to Luxembourg on a day trip when we were keeping my nieces. I can't remember if I went there when I was staying abroad also. I kind of think I did. But we took a day trip to Luxembourg with them, and it was so nice. It's just a beautiful city. The Luxembourg Gardens are really famous. And then they have a really famous cemetery nearby. I remember getting ice cream. I can't remember what we ate here, but I remember taking them to get ice cream in Luxembourg. It was so pretty. Yeah, you can kind of see the bridge in the water there. There were so many flowers. It was summertime. It was just nice. We didn't stay there, super long, but we just took a little day trip. Okay, so this is from the Dominican Republic. I have never been here, so this is kind of off my topic, but my husband has been to the Dominican Republic several times. Before we were together, he led several like mission trips to the Dominican Republic, and so I think he's been there maybe 4 times, 3 or 4 times, and so this is a really pretty mug, just kind of showing the different places. I would love to go there though, like I've just heard it's really beautiful. And I like, I see people going there as tourists a lot, or on like honeymoons and stuff like that. So I hope I get to go one day. Okay, I think that's all of my travel mugs that I'm getting rid of, actually. I'm trying to think. Most of the mugs, these mugs, like these generic mugs, are pretty small, as you can see. And both me and my husband typically drink our coffee out of bigger mugs than this. And so we found that we don't use these very much. And so we're like, something's gotta go. Like, we've got to like start getting rid of some stuff. So this was one of those things we had to do. Anyway, it makes me sad, but it's a necessary thing. We gotta do it. We gotta make room for the babies. It's funny because, like, I may have mentioned this before, but people, like, we don't live in a massive house, but it's more than we need. And but a few people have asked us, like, since we're having twins, if we're moving to like a bigger house. And I just think it's kind of funny because I'm like, no, we have enough room. We really just need to get rid of stuff. Like, that's the American problem, I think, is just how many things you have. And so that's what I've had to kind of buckle down and do, is realize, like, no, like in the American way, it's like, yeah, you need to build bigger houses for all your stuff, when really we just need to get rid of stuff. So